We're at 12 minutes early.
I guess I usually start.
How much water do you put in it? It's really what it depends on. Yeah, we hitting that gas. Gonna hit some gas.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find my phone.
Probably with my water bottle. Probably with the water bottle. I'd be at the park. Yeah, you want a swig of this? Just water juice. Podcast. Wait, what'd you say? Oh yeah, could you? Brandon. It's about ready. I think it's ready. Okay.
Hey, can you see me, Kenny?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Let me pull my volume up here.
Get this trash out of the view here.
Oh, no worries.
All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna do it like on a I'm just thinking format as like we'll chop it up into a reel type deal, right? Is that
Sure. Yeah, whatever
I
works
kinda
for
have
you.
some questions for you, honestly. You know, because my thing is like, so we both met in Wes's group, right? Hey, can you lie down. Hey, guys, I'm doing a podcast. You want to go in that room? Yeah, go in that room. Yeah. But yeah, so my thing is we both met at Wes's group, and
Right.
you know, I think like real recognizes real. I always see you laughing in Wes's group and like just having a good vibe. And then Wes always brings you up like, oh yeah, hit up Lee, like he knows abundance and stuff. So that's really what got me following you was Wes literally shouts you out every meeting. So
Well, he's a stud, and I think he respects, the years that I'm 30 years older than him, and so he recognizes that I've done a few things and written some books and had some business success, and so he respects that, and of course he crushes it in every level. So I wanted to see the reason I got hooked up with him was I wanted to find out. This looked like a guy who might have more discipline than me, and I hadn't found that. And I thought, wow, that's fascinating. So I really just wanted to get inside his head, and
big into discipline.
Yeah, because he, and I probably got him on. I probably could take him on food, but he's got me on work ethic and just stamina.
Yeah, that's one thing that attracted me about him too, is just that whole prison mindset of like, this is all we have and this is what we're doing and this is the discipline that comes with it. Like he says, it's like the people walk around just based off their discipline and their character. That's how they conduct themselves. That's how they win or lose, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's and he is certainly an example of what can be accomplished, if you're focused and you're driven and you're committed.
Yeah.
What he's done is pretty amazing.
Hey, when you hopped on the Zoom call, did it say it's recording?
I did.
I'm recording it on my end, so I'll be
Okay, yeah, it says up in the corner recording. So
I was just making sure. It's my first time like actually recording a Zoom call, and it's been like, it's been a goal of mine to be an influencer online, right? And then I was like, how can I do this? Because it's like YouTube. I know I could do YouTube, but the amount of hours it requires is like, you talk about discipline. These kids, YouTube videos are just on a whole different other level of technology and just getting it done. It's like, I didn't realize until I downloaded the Adobe, tried to do it my damn self, and my stuff was amateur level, like editing.
It's crazy. It is. Yeah, it's a whole other level of effort.
Yeah, so I have a whole different respect for the Logan Pauls and the Nelk stuff like that. But I want to ask you where you grew up, like where you were born, just like your general story, because it's like one thing, like Wes pointed me in this direction, right? Like that quote goes. I can't quote it off the top of my head right now, but so like where did you grow up?
Yeah, I actually grew up in the Chicago area and the city itself. My father was a fairly well-known high school basketball coach in the Chicago area. So I was not a big kid, but I grew up with a lot of skills. I had basketball, football, baseball, tennis skills. So I was a good athlete, but my mom was only 5'0" and 90 pounds. So I was not going to get very big.
And how many siblings?
But go ahead.
How many siblings did you have?
One older sister, 5 years older.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
And so yeah, I went to Illinois State University, and I got a political science degree there. And I was a tackling dummy for the football team. I was on the practice squad because I wasn't very big, but I loved it. And so I got through that, and then I moved out to Seattle area where I still am. I caught on with the Boeing company, a very low level, but I worked my way up to executive level and quite a nice salary.
What exactly is Boeing? I don't understand what that is.
I'm sorry, Boeing is the airplane company, airplane manufacturing.
Oh, Boeing, yeah, the Boeing 688s or whatever they're called.
Yeah, the airplanes, and so it's a huge company, and with 60,000 employees. So I started at a very low level, kind of worked my way up gradually, and but while I was doing that, that's where it got interesting because I've always lifted weights. I started when I was 18 in 1972, and nobody was doing it then. No, I mean, you couldn't even hardly find weights, but they gave me a competitive advantage in football and things like that, because even football players weren't lifting.
Oh, so your motivation, because you were so small, you were trying to.
Yeah. I hungered to be a great athlete.
But back in 72, you were like the pioneer of that back then. Everybody wasn't lifting weights.
Yeah, it was a new. So it was, but it gave me an advantage. And, but I was always gifted in music. And my wife and I, she's an amazing musician and was a competitive ballroom dancer. Got a 4-octave vocal range, but she's also a CPA. She's got a degree in bacteriology. But she was a karaoke host, and that's how I met her.
At what age? At what age?
Oh God, I was mid-40s. Mid-40s. I'd already been married once.
Same age. She's the same age.
And she's she's 1 year younger. And
that was in Chicago, or
that was actually out here in Seattle.
Okay.
And she grew up out
here.
Got
hired at Boeing, and then you met her out here.
Yeah,
right?
And then I met her later, and I'd actually gotten divorced. I was married for 15 years, no kids, and everything was amicable. But I married Brooke.
Really. It's at 15 years. It's a long time. It's like half my age, and I've never dated a girl for that long. So that's
it was crazy. So anyway, I got hooked up with Brooke, and we started playing with local cover bands out here in the Seattle area, and we decided to start our own thing. and we were horrible. I mean, we were really bad. We were playing these toilets, knee deep in cheap beer with guys with no teeth in the audience. I mean, that kind of thing. it was brutal.
I
And
have,
but we
I have
got
a place
better.
like right there that's like that. So I know exactly what you mean. That's
Exactly, yeah. But we had a plan. We stayed with it. We got better, and then we got better, and then we started attracting musicians who toured with people like Gloria Estefan and some serious people. And then before you knew it, we went on an 18-year run. We're flown all over North America, and
this is while you're
played for
you're doing the
while I'm working at Boeing. Yeah,
Wow.
while I'm working at Boeing, and so on weekends we might fly to Northern Canada or something. We
No
might
shit.
get we played for 10,000 people at Key Arena. They call it Climate Pledge Arena now.
Yeah.
We did amazing things. NFL owners, Eddie DeBartolo, who owned the 49ers, we're now friends with him. He brought us out. Now I'm hanging out with guys like Jerry Rice and Randy Cross and and Dwight
Big
Clark
time.
before he passed. I mean, it was crazy. And so we're doing that, and that puts us in a whole different genre of people. And while we're doing that, I'm also starting to write books. And so I've got 4 under my own name. This is Become Unstoppable. This is Swagger at 60. This is the Brick House Band, about our band experience. And then the most recent one I did was with a former Chicago Bear named Doug Plank. He was fantastic.
That's autobiography.
Yeah, he was
That's my specialty is definitely reading autobiographies. I'm an autobiography type of guy.
Yeah, well, he's a tremendous hitter, and they named the Chicago Bear 46 defense after him. That won him that 86 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so he's actually my best friend now. So we're running in circles. We went from places with people with no teeth to to NFL owners and rooms with huge stars. And I'm riding in limos with Pam Grier and 49ers and the gal who won an Oscar for I forget. But anyway, we ran in a whole different circle of people.
Yeah.
And so it's been really exciting. And now I'm retired from Boeing, but I'm trying to give back and do a lot of coaching with my fitness. Oh yeah, because I didn't even get to the fitness. I'd always been lifting.
I want to plug that all. You know what I mean? I want to plug it all in. I was just trying to get your story first, because I find it's personally, like me, it's like hard to get my story out for some reason, but like a podcast is a beautiful way to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going through people on Instagram who's excited to tell their story to me on a podcast that we record and just see what happens,
And you're building your story as you go.
And I'm in the room right now with a guy who I, look up to and aspire to be like one day. And it's like, that's how you do it. Get in the room.
Yeah, exactly. And, now at this point in my life, I'm actually winning physique competitions.
Okay. So fast forward to when did you retire from Boeing?
Yeah. And it was about 4 years ago. I was 65.
Yep.
I said, that's enough for that.
Okay.
And we just retired the band, years old, playing on a stage. Kids have it. But now I had time to sleep, eat properly, train even harder. And so now I'm winning Masters Physique competitions. I just won the biggest NPC show in America this past April, called the Emerald Cup. I'm not a big guy, but I've never let myself go, and I've always been in shape. So now I've outlasted everybody. So here we are.
And then the NPC is they do dope testing, or no? They do drug testing.
They do have they didn't at this one, but they do have a category where you can do the drug tested, and that's new for them in the physique area.
Yeah.
But I've never done any TRT or HGH or steroids or anything. No, never. Creatine.
I was gonna ask you, because I heard a doctor say on one of these podcasts that it's actually like, if a guy wants to be big and lift a lot of weights, it's safer for him to be on TRT and a low dose DECA, but I thought that was something you may have been into, but that's interesting. But we have plenty to talk about. So then you retired, and then you got into coaching once you met Wes, or have you always done personal training and stuff like that on the side?
Well, I've always been available to help people, but I actually taken some personal training courses, but I never really pursued it. And he kind of talked me into, he said, look, he has this thing, you've probably heard him say, you're an offering. You're an
Yeah.
offering to people. And I go, that made sense to me. I go, here I am, this age, I have all this knowledge. I mean, I've been training for 51 years,
Right.
51 years.
Yeah.
So I've done every diet, every kind of training plan, every kind of method. So that, yeah, I should coach people.
Yeah.
And so that's how he kind of got me into that for sure.
And that's been taken off for you? You've been busy with it?
Well, yeah, I here's what I've done. And he wouldn't like this. I haven't even told him this, but I cap it at 10 people. Because here's the thing. For most guys your age, the currencies that you want are money and attention. And sometimes attention can get you money.
Mm.
When you get to be my age, I've had money. I've still got plenty of attention. I need time. Time becomes the currency when you get older because it's running out. I might be in the 9th inning, so it's like, I don't want to coach a whole bunch of people. I want to help a bunch of people,
Right.
but I'm going to give 10 people my best.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna give
not
them-
35 years old doing it. Yeah, I understand. Totally.
Yeah. So I cap it and I give these guys a
And is it
12-week
what's your?
curriculum.
It's a 12-week program that you give,
Yeah, it is. Now they can stay on longer, and about half of them do.
and
but what I
everybody's
do
the
is-
same price, or is it different price ranges?
Yeah. I'm giving everybody a real deal. I'm just going $750 for 12 weeks.
Oh, shit.
And it's a $3,000 value, but it's $750 for 12 weeks. And so the first 2 weeks, we clarify their values and their principles. And so they understand who they are, who they want to be, and what they stand for. The
Mhm.
next 10 weeks, we cover one mental toughness tool each week.
Wow.
And they get a PDF with what it's about. We talk about it on the phone every week. I put them, of course, on a training and nutrition program if that's what they want. But I end up with guys who have Harvard degrees, and well, you would know about Harvard. You're right out there.
Yeah.
I guy's an investment banker from Harvard. I've got a guy who's got 1 million followers on YouTube.
And they're mainly looking for your mindset tactics.
Yeah, they're mostly looking for my experience, and
You get them
I
in the
started
gym
with-
every day or every so often, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I've seen a dude on the train today. I was like, he's got to be one of Wes's guys because he was jacked, plus he was inked up.
Yeah. I always say my statement of nonconformity is I have no tattoos and no piercings.
Right.
So
Everybody's got their
I'm the
thing.
guy who has none of that.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing. I got a vision to put my tattoos on my body. You know what I mean? I'm straight taking it off the vision board and putting it right on my body type deal.
Yeah.
I'm a
Well,
huge
you've got a
fan
great
of the
physique.
vision.
You've got a great, that's to me, that is your calling card right now because you've got a really good body. And I would be careful with the tattoos because you might want to compete someday.
Yeah,
and they
I
don't
might
get
have to hit up
penalized.
Big League for $750 for 12 weeks, man. You know?
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
That's actually a phenomenal deal. If I had the time,
is-
I would definitely do that. I would dedefinitely do. You know,
it's a great deal. And
so it's like I'm in a fork in the road to go to Lee or get tattoos. You know.
well, the thing about the tattoos is you can win competitions with them, but it does cover your muscle, and it can be down. You can be downgraded for that if you get too much, which is why a lot of these tatted guys you never see them in competition.
Okay.
But and once you get it, I guess you can get rid of them now, but it's not easy. I know Mark Wahlberg did a whole big thing about getting rid of all his tattoos.
That couldn't have been fun. That could not have been fun.
Yeah, he did it in front of his kids, so to watch him to tell them don't do this.
It's kind of funny. I'll bring this up because that just happened. I was just cooking something in my stove on the 3rd floor here, and I live in Somerville, right? And I'm here in an Airbnb. I just moved here a couple of weeks ago, but I'm just chilling here. And I picked up, I went to the oven and I was cooking some food. And then the whole place, I thought the fire department was going to come because I live right across the street from the school. I'm like, fuck, we got.
Oh, no.
I was like, I can't miss this shit, man. I was like, because Lee's busy, man. I had to book him out a week out, So it's the real deal. I was like,
it's true
right now.
Having a plan is really a really essential part of the whole discipline.
That's what I need help with personally is that structure of the planner, right? I don't even know, it's I wake up and do, try to make as much money as possible or hang out with this person or that person and get my workout in,
Every day,
if I had that structure, that'd be a lot better.
Every day, I've got every hour filled for every day from about 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't flex, that things will happen. But I was so impressed with you yesterday because you sent me a confirmation about today.
Yeah.
Most guys won't do that. Most guys, if I tell you that I'm going to be somewhere November 2nd at 1 o'clock, I'll be there and we'll never have to speak of it again. But
Right.
most people are like on the phone going, hey, I'm on my
You're
way.
hitting-
I'm
yeah.
10 minutes late and I can't find
Yeah.
parking. And
Yeah.
it's just,
I hate that
people,
shit.
people can't
Because
plan
the thing
anymore.
is, I realize my time is very important because so I never knew my time was so important until I started my first business back in 2021, right? And I was like,
Right.
holy fuck, what have I been doing working for $250 a day for fucking 14 hours? And I
Yeah.
had one job where it was debatable if I even got paid, and I had nothing to do with the sales. I'm like, I should be the one doing the sales. I should be the one, you know what I mean? But it wasn't even that type of thinking. But like when I was working those jobs, yeah, it was because I was thinking like a total loser. I was thinking, let me
Yeah.
get $250 already. But now that I had that paradigm shift when COVID happened, I actually saw a Facebook reel on COVID, right? It's like if you haven't figured out a side hustle during COVID or a business during COVID, like who are you? Now then
Yeah.
that woke me up. I had COVID when I seen it. And yeah, then I just bought some chainsaw. Well, no, it first started out with snow, and then my first snow day was, or the best snow day I had. The first snow day I made 750 cash.
Yeah.
That was very easy. Like what's next? And then in 2,500, that was my day. That was my epiphany moment where like I can no longer work a 9 to 5. I can't
Right.
do it. It's just like so that was that paradigm shift once the money really hit the bank account, got the three, got a truck and then got two more. I think I bought like 4 cars in 2021, and I've never done that. Not even nowhere close. I bought like one or two. And I like a cousin where I was paying, in high school type deal. I was fortunate to have a cousin like that. But I'd say, the law of exposure is definitely real. And when I seen Wes do it, I was following him to a T with the tree company because like even my mom says it. She's like, I don't think anybody's ever done something with a tree company like that with the amount of money you started with.
Right.
Was the shovel, essentially.
Yeah.
And then I borrowed my mom's blower. I had a truck, so I had the snow blower and a truck, and I had like two guys working for me. I paid them each $300 each for the night. Still brought back 2,500. It was a good night for them too. Like I've
That's
never
great.
worked anybody that gave me $300 cash ever.
That's great. Now that's very, that you can give yourself a lot of credit for that because, you did that on your own. You set it up.
And I continue to do it every day. The wins aren't as big right now, but I realize that's just the season I'm going through. Maybe it's not the connections that I'm making here. It's just, it's like Wes says, it's a timeline, right?
It's a process and you have to be patient. You have to just put the work in and the grind. And now I can see that in you. I've seen, I watch all the videos you post, with the chainsaw and the stuff. And I'm going, yeah, this guy can grind. You've got what it takes. It's just you just got to be patient with yourself and just keep, put your nose to the grindstone and just keep moving forward a little bit at a time. And by the time you're 40, in 10 years, you might have something really serious going on.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just have, it's cool because I have the park right across the street. I was living with my parents for a little bit. Then I bought that trailer. It was just a total mess. I was moving too fast for what I was doing. Spent all the money, the business money on that side of things. I was like, fuck, what do I do now? And then so I got this place in Cambridge, and then right across the street from this place, or not Cambridge, I'm in Somerville, right down the street from Cambridge, Harvard, and all that. But anyways, right across the street is the basketball court and the soccer court. So I just been chilling with the kids and living that message of like let them approach you and teach them.
Right.
Just living it out for free, really. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
even doing coaching right now just because I got all these things going on where it's just like I'm just selling stuff on OfferUp, eBay, and all that, and just like organizing my next move, really.
Yeah.
I stay in Massachusetts. I know that's a fact.
Well, I
So,
think if you clarify, just and what I tell everybody is just clarify what you value, get your values in order, and then establish your principles on top of those values. For example, people say, what are your values, Lee? And well, my values in order of importance are health, intelligence, humor, generosity, toughness, and beauty. Those are my 6 top values. So decisions are easy. If I have to make a decision, I can go, well, is it healthy? Is it intelligent? Is it does it reflect a generous spirit? Is it lighthearted? Does it contribute to is it making me tougher? Because when you're tougher, you're less of a burden to other people. And if it contributes to beauty in the world, people go, well, that's kind of a surface, shallow thing. Beauty, I go, No, beautiful literature makes me want to write better. Beautiful music makes me want to play better music. Beautiful bodies make me want to have a better body. It inspires me to be better. And so that's the value of beauty.
I like that a lot, man.
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna have
people
to write
go,
that down. Yeah, I like that a lot. I wish I had a notepad with me right now. I just don't.
well, people, people go, well, that seems kind of shallow. And they go, no, 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 you don't understand. And
That's it. That's the whole thing where it's like I don't know if I'm just older now, so I'm out here talking about it, but it's like it seems like a movement where people are trying to bring people down who are doing the right thing.
right. Yeah, well, it's like fit shaming now instead of fat shaming.
Yeah. If you're like in good shape, it's like, they might like, oh, why you eat like that? It's like, I was talking to one of my friends here from across the street, and I was telling him, like, when you're a bodybuilder and you have a full-time job, like, just making that food in general and make sure you have the money for exactly what you want, because I want you guys eating organic everything. It's like half these people can't afford it. They really can't, or they can't. They go, I can't afford that. I said, yes, you can. You have the money in your bank account. Number one, you definitely can. Let's get the facts fucking situated.
Right.
We said it's the healthy decision, so make it right now, or and then off that, you're gonna have a abundance of energy because you're not gonna have all those pesticides and all that stuff in your system. Then plus you'll be living, in a macronutrient, way.
Yeah.
And then half these people really need to get on a caloric deficit, of course, because they're too fat.
Yes.
That's a major epidemic.
Well, it's so funny, I post twice a day on Instagram, and I've done it every day for probably about a year now. And of course, I wear a tank top as part of my brand, because really that's what differentiates me from most people at my age. But I'll hear from fat or fit shamers, and they'll say, well, you in the tank top, whatever. And now I go, do you realize I'm 69? And then they're like, oh, never mind. They're like, oh, I thought you might be 35. And I go, no, you don't understand. This is a whole different.
It's a shame that people do that, but I think that's been going on since the awning of time, right? We need our workers too. Like Wes says, we need our workers.
Yeah.
And it's like he gave me a different perspective, a paradigm shift, really, on death and getting over someone like a girlfriend or something like that. Because it's like, and all in all, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I forget exactly how I think of it now, but it's kind of just, you got to move forward. Yeah, you can be sad for a time, but you still got to do what's on your list of things to do every day.
Right. And it's ultimately, it's their loss.
Yeah, it's their loss. Plus, we got a whole bunch of 5 million people who inspire who are watching our stuff,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can operate by feelings and emotions, or you can operate by principles. And I operate by principles. There's nothing.
Have you seen the movie called what's it called? The Law of Abundance with The Secret.
All right. Yes. Sure.
Have you met Bob or been to any of his events or anything like that?
Which guy?
Bob Proctor.
Oh, Bob Proctor. I've seen a lot of his videos. He passed away not too long ago.
Yeah, he did. I didn't realize he was from Canada.
But he was one of the leaders in the forefront of a lot of this. And I just think being principle centered as opposed to feelings and emotions centered, you'll get a lot more.
Principle center will attract that abundance of what you're looking for.
Yeah. And when you know what you stand for, it doesn't matter what a woman does. It doesn't matter what an employer does. When you know what you stand for and you have principles, like some of my principles, my number one is I only do things that strengthen me. I do nothing that weakens me. That's heavy. I mean, think about that. That means no sugar, no cake, no burritos, no. I mean, nothing bad. I don't do any of it. Another principle is I make my capabilities exceed my limitations, because as you get older, you can't do as much. I can't kick over my head like I used to. I can't. If I'm doing martial arts or something, I can't do that. So I perfect the kick to the knee. I can do that. And another one is like I differentiate myself from
You're saying
others.
You have a move that you can kick somebody in the knee. Is that?
Oh yeah.
It's like MMA almost, or?
Yeah, it's. I was actually taught by Navy SEALs, and I used to go strike for Navy SEAls. That was another thing I left out of my story. But how
did you get there? Was it the music, or was it the airplane though, or a combination?
This was interesting. Yeah,
that's a cool story.
Well, the thing was, back when Amazon first became a thing and they started selling books, I was one of the first people to start reviewing books. So a couple of Navy SEALs were writing, books about their experiences as Navy SEALs. I would write a 5-star review, and then I would hard mail them the review saying, "Hey, great job." Well, the phone starts ringing and
Mm.
going, "Hey, thanks so much." And a conversation starts. And before too long, I'm down on Coronado Island in San Diego, hanging out with a bunch of Navy SEALs, showing them how to write.
I
I mean, it
love
was
it.
freaking amazing. So, like Richard
Love it.
Makowitz, who he was the host of the show Future Weapons on the Discovery Channel. I used to go down and spend 2 weeks with him down in Texas, where he lived, just just learning and helping him and learning. He passed away of cancer a couple of years ago, but I mean, the exposure to these guys was amazing. But just by reaching out and putting myself, helping them, writing a review and making sure they knew about it, without asking for anything, pretty soon they're calling me going, "Hey, would you do that for my buddy?" And
Yeah, it's funny you say that because sometimes I'll just get in a writing mode and write a review on Google or something. Nothing like that's ever happened. But one time I wrote a guy, he needed tree work done or something. I forget why I was emailing him, but I wrote this like symphony because he hit me at like, maybe it was 3:33 or something in the morning,
yeah,
I just hit him with a symphony, and then he's like, "Wow, you're a great writer." Like, I didn't pursue it or anything because I was busy, but he wanted to like hire me to do some sort of writing. I was like, "That's interesting,"
yeah. People are accessible. I mean, they really are. And
Yeah,
particularly writers, because they're sitting by their computer all the time anyway.
that's
And
important. Yeah,
you send them an email and they're back within 5 minutes. I'm just going, "Holy cow, how did this happen?"
yeah,
And
that's
and
good.
now I'm one of those people. Now they're emailing me, and now I'm getting to pick different projects and things that I want to do. And it's really been an amazing life. If I died tomorrow, I can't complain about anything. My bucket list has been crossed off. There's just everything I've ever wanted to do, I've been able to do. It's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing, man. All right, Lee, but hey, I'm gonna end it there because I got some stuff to do, and I'm sure you do too. But I appreciate you coming by. We'll have to do it again.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate your story and what you're doing. I mean, I know you're in the grind, and seriously, you've got a great physique. Don't let that go, because you've got, compared to a lot of other people, that you've got a calling card there.
I might
Just
have to
take
call
care
you
of that.
about that, man. I'll call you later about that for
Yeah,
sure.
because
When I get
seriously,
when I get to free up a little bit of time, and then it'll all work.
yeah. Well, look at these young guys, and I'm looking at you versus a lot of them, and I'm going, I don't know how much time Kenny puts into this, but if he puts some more time into it, you might have something going on there. So it's just something to think
Yeah,
about.
right now I'm really not really putting too much time, to be honest, to playing basketball and stuff like that. I have put a lot of time. I think that's where like my base comes from, and it's easy to get that back once we get on the diet, once we get on the program. But it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, you'll be crushing it. Well, I appreciate your time.
All
Thanks.
right,
It was a
Lee. I
blast.
appreciate you, man. All
All
right.
right, man. See you later.
All right. Peace.